Bridge. Avalo, we've arrived. Washington, Chambers Bay. What's it all about?
So it's a chance to get out there, strut your stuff, and see if you
Golf in Scotland. Here we're in the northwest part of the United States, though. Beautiful rhythmic swing right there, and right down Peachtree.
Well, Richard's partially blind, so you've really got to fixate on the exact point that you want to aim at. That's one of the beauties of this golf. That ball hits the ground, the natural contours are going to take it in a certain direction. So really fixate on that line.
Getting set now over the putt.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Shouldn't be a problem here. Even par early on. Ready to tee off here at the second. Frank, what's it all about?
Well, you hit your tee shot here through the dunes, Rich, not overly long, just under 400 yards. The bunker on the left really shouldn't be a problem. Just avoid the dunes on the right and left.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Let's see what the dominant #1 player can do. Rory McIlroy now on the approach shot. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Solid play, heart of the green.
Even par currently.
Par for McIlroy and pulls away.
There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Sometimes you get breaks, and he got one right there.
Yeah, I guess yeah, the bunker was a little smaller than I thought it was. It looked doomed for that. If you hit enough shots, every now and again, one's going to go in.
Crazy, crazy game. Frank, here on the 4th tee, you get a good look, don't you, at what Chambers Bay really is all about.
It's framed beautifully, Rich, by the bunkers there, left, short, off the tee, plus the ones down the right side. You can see everything in front of you, but the hole does bend to the right. This is another one where you've got a generous fairway, but don't be fooled by that. It's fairway first.
Tough par 4 measuring 495 yards. Well, those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. This is a good-looking shot. So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Frank going for another birdie here.
Chance to get on a real roll.
Never quite had enough oomph on that.
Yeah, sort of a wishy-washy stroke.
Settles in over the putt. Nice par to remain 1 under. Well, Frank, here at the 5th, and I'm not sure about my chances at a hole that's called free fall. I mean, are you kidding?
Well, should be free fall for you, that's for sure, and free fall for a lot of people playing it today. Hole looks straight away, but you'll see it starts to pinch in, that fairway that is, by bunkers left and right. And those bunkers come in exactly where you're trying to hit your tee shot.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. Ready for a second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. He has this putt for birdie. Oh my gosh, that hurts. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it's going to hurt the course.
Ready to tee off here at the 6th. Frank, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee here?
Well, as long as it's not in the rough, the bunkers, well, there's no trees here, really. That little green strip, that runway down there, another hole that bends to the right, but find the fairway. The fairway's wide enough. You've got a pretty good idea exactly where you want to go. And once again, this is one of the shorter par 4s. So good drive here, just a short iron in.
Wow, he moved that a long ways right in the fairway. Frank, what do you think about this approach here at the 6th?
Well, one of the few greens here that's protected on both sides. Rather narrow green, and you can see really what happens if you miss. Bunkers left and right. Plus there's a couple of ridges, so club selection is important here.
Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Just a couple of feet. That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive. Frank, this is a daunting challenge. The 7th hole, long par 4. It's over 500 yards.
A huge bunker down the right side that probably runs for a good 200-300 yards. Obviously, that's to be avoided. And then, of course, there's the mounds and the hammocks and the dunes and that on the left side. That's the reason, really, why this hole's called Humpback. But then, a little bit like the golf course, there's only one greenside bunker to be worried about, but enough green left of that.
Frank, no reason here to think we're going to see anything other than another good shot.
Yeah, in a great flow, and golf like this looks easy.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. That is classy.
Yeah, a chance of going in.
He can't believe it. Thought it was in. Did the job right there. Now to the 8th and a long par 5, Frank.
Fortunately, there's no bunkers, just the dunes either side. The hole looks a little narrow off the tee, but get down there, you're going to realize that's a fairly generous fairway. There's a little bit of mounding in this green, too, that actually slopes it back towards the player. So use that to your advantage.
Ooh, got all of that one. In straight, 325 yards in the fairway. Second from an excellent lie. So, third shot now for Rory McIlroy. Good chance now after that approach shot for a birdie.
Oh, he was so precise coming in, and the measurement is 9 feet away.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Trying to move on with a par in his pocket. Come on, don't do that.
Cruel lip out.
Now at 1 under for the round. Frank, the 9th hole, called Olympus. And that is very grand sounding. Like something that...
You're talking Greek God here, aren't you? Come on, this golf course is for the mere mortals, Rich.
Well, too bad, Frank. That one rolled right off the green.
It was just coming out so hot.
Second shot. Good look at the green. Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up. Nudge this one home, finish it up. you can see the golfer is just boiling right now after that miss and a drop shot here at the 9th. Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Welcome to the King's Palace. This is Rich Loader alongside Frank Nobilo, set to bring you all the action for EA Sports. Today we're here at Arnold Palmer's Bay Hill Club and Lodge. Frank, it's right in the heart of Orlando, Florida. You've played this course before. What do you need to look out for?
Ideally, you've got to hit the ball with a high, soft landing flight, which is not a shot that most amateurs have in their bag. But Florida courses, they differ from a lot of the other courses within North America, and what they lack in change of elevation, they make up in difficulty by the use of water and very firm greens.
It is a par 72 with a tough finishing stretch.
Oh, and it gets a good kick. It's only in the first cut.
That's
not too bad.
Frank, I like the way he sort of starts his swing a little bit on the outside and then drops it right on plane. Not in the fairway, but not too bad. Just in that first cut. Frank did the prudent thing there, didn't he?
Yeah. In the end, really, you could have turned that into a disaster instead. Actually, a good chance, really, to perhaps get away with par.
Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. On the green, and a chance for birdie here on the first hole. What's you need to watch out for here, Frank?
Those two front bunkers, Rich, the one that protects the left and the right. More often than not, you want to pitch the ball on the front of this green. They are the two to be concerned about.
If he makes it, he wins the hole.
Well, we'll never know if that had gone in, because it never made it.
Getting set now over the putt. He'll take par and move on. Continuing to putt with confidence. Back to the action here at the second. It's a par 3, demanding hole, Frank, isn't it?
Longest par 3 on the golf course. Slightly downhill, but you need every advantage here. It requires your best.
No problems there. Really good approach shot. Now, good look at birdie. Into the thick stuff. That's a difficult lie. Second shot coming out of the rough here. If he makes it, he wins the hole.
Can't birdie them all, Rich.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Oh, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
It's a pretty big putt right here to win the hole. He wins the hole. Frank, now to the third hole, and where's the trouble here? That's fairly obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's one thing you don't want to remind yourself of. There's a bunker all the way down the right side. That's a good place to aim.
And that one lands in the first cut, Frank.
Interesting choice coming ahead here. It'll be interesting to see how he reads this lie.
Nice long tee shot there and a good lie, Frank. Ends up in the first cut, and he'll have a pretty good look at the hole location from here. You can see a little bit off balance on the tee, and that one is going to be in the rough. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here. He's safely on deck.
Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. Which one just requires a little bit of focus. And he makes it for par. He can win the hole on this putt. And Rich Lerner alongside Frank Navalo. Fourth hole is the first par 5 on the golf course, Frank.
Very scoreable. 2 bunkers down the left, the first of which takes 330 yards to get it past that.
Definite birdie hole, maybe even a chance for Eagle to really jumpstart the round. Good tee shot right in the fairway and plenty long. Playing his second shot here at the par 5.
Second shot.
That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at Eagle coming up. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
Frank, that looked good to me. That may have been a bit too much to ask for there, that distance putt, Frank.
Yeah, it's fine to be greedy before you hit the putt, but after you've hit it, 2 from that distance is fine.
I don't know, maybe lifted right there, just sort of peaked. See if he's up to the task. Trying to win the hole here. He wins the hole. No problems there.
Yeah, keeps the round going, keeps the momentum on his side.
Frank, now to the fifth. What's the strategy here at this shorter par 4?
Well, if you want to flex your muscles, Rich, take it over that left bunker. With a little trailing breeze, you might even get close to the green.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. With that ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
So the golf ball ends up in that first cut. It's a little bit less than 2 inches. You can see the golf ball should be able to get at it, but may not be able to control the spin. We'll see. From 135 yards out, Frank, the tournament scoring record was set by Buddy Allen. That was way back in 1973. A whopping 23 under. That's like a video game score.
Yeah, they made sure that would never happen again. They lengthened the golf course. They firmed up the greens. They sped them up. They did everything to make sure that nobody, including you, ever shoots 23 under here again.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. What a putt. Just missed, Frank.
That's cruel.
Just a couple of feet. And that gives him the hole. Sinks the putt for birdie. Frank, what's the thinking here as you step to the tee at the signature hole, the long par 5, 6th hole?
Well, the longer hitters can go at that big pine tree. Then it's reachable in 2. Now, if you're a little shorter, then you've got to start to sort of aim at the middle of those 2 bunkers.
Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards. Not looking good, Frank.
No, I think it's wet.
Extra stroke at it after going into the water. So hit the previous shot in the water, took a drop. This now the 3rd shot. Missed that one, and it is going towards the rough. You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish, but, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break. The hazard.
Needs to get up. Good news is, was able to retrieve the golf ball.
Yeah, on dry land, and can he carry it this time, though?
Frank, this is his 6th shot here.
Well, this is the difference between the good players and the great players. Really, just that compounding of a mistake, one after the other. Good recovery shot. Couldn't make the green, but at least he's back in play.
Played the smart shot right there. And from the fairway for his 2nd shot here. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Couldn't have done much better than that. An eagle is very possible. Setting up for an approach shot here. Frank, can you recall a situation where before an important round, an instructor gave you one small tweak, maybe flare your left toe out, or just shift a little bit of the weight onto the back foot, where the instructor gave you that one small bit of advice and it made a huge difference?
Yeah, the list is too long, Rich, and it's normally just someone that you've trusted over the years, and we all make just little bad habits. Sometimes you're stooped over a little bit more than normal. You're not standing tall enough. The ball is too far back in your stance or too far forward. You're making a funny little move, or your grip is different. It's always the little things that add up to the big problem.
Well, after that beast of a par 5 with all the water, take a sigh of relief and you come to the par 3-7.
It still takes a good tee shot here, though, Rich. Narrow entry, and the green's 30 yards deep. You've still really got to focus on hitting a good shot here.
And to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole, this for birdie. That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Clean this up with a tap. Looks like he just misread that. It's a pretty big putt right here to win the hole.
Oh, how did that miss?
Are you kidding me? I mean, that one was dead center.
That was a good run at it, Rich.
Locked in on the read and the speed. That's costly right there.
Painful.
If he makes it, he wins the hole. He wins the hole. Got it for par. Let's move on to the 8th. And Frank, what's ahead here?
Big par 4, just over 450 yards. Ideally, you want to get it down by that bunker where it's nice and flat, because that second shot, you know what's coming up. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Frank, it's a hard game to play from the high grass.
And that's where he's been more often than not today.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Second shot coming out of the rough here.
Gets a good kick. It's only in the first cut. That's not too bad.
Frank, I like the way he sort of starts his swing a little bit on the outside and then drops it right on plane. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. Should be safely on deck.
That's a solid shot here into the 8th hole, and a good chance now for another birdie.